Hello, my crafty friends. Thank you for joining me on my Tuesday tutorial video. This is Maria Robinson, and I am Stamping Simply with Maria. So today's card, I haven't decided what to call it yet. Once I put it together, maybe I will. But it's a split panel card, or I also came up with the name Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, so you're wondering why? Well, you'll see in just a little bit. But we're using just a couple of things. So I will turn the camera down. So this is all we're using. Well, an ink and some embellishments and a little bit of embossing powder. But this is pretty much it. These are the basics. So I am using the inked florets. Inked floret, since it's only one. This stamp set is gorgeous. It's huge, so it's perfect for what I need it for. And then I've also brought in the phrases and frames, just the stamps. We're not going to be using the dies today, and I'm using the happiest birthday wishes. Get started. One more item that I am using is the gilded wing accents, and I've actually gone ahead and punched them all out. So rather than doing it one at a time, they're all there ready for me when I need them. So I'm probably just going to use a couple of little ones as little accents, but I love these butterflies. They're so pretty. All right, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is, and you'll see in my sample at the end of the video, the reason I'm doing it this way is because I learned from my previous sample not to do it that way. So I am going to cut both pieces of cardstock at the same time, and I'm making them bigger than what I actually need. I'm actually going to cut these down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. So let's go, whoop, I want to go this way though, not that way. So we're going to do 5 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I probably will cut that down a little bit more. Probably more like 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 by 5 inches will be the final size of the card. But we're going to start it out this way. So that was 5 1/4, and again I'm trying to line these up, and by 4 1/4. I found that doing it this way, this is actually 4 1/4 already, so we don't even need to do it that way. But by doing it this way, now both pieces are equal, and like I said, you'll see in my sample what happened to the other piece because I didn't do it that way. All right, so these are just scraps. I'll put them back in my little pouch so I can take them into my other room. All right, so trimmer is done for the moment. All right, so let's start by stamping. I'm going to start by stamping first on this piece, and I'm going to put these pieces aside for now as well. Let's put them in my handy dandy pouch so they don't go missing. I'll stick that right there out of the way. All right, so I've already added my stamp, as you can see, on my stamping positioner. And I haven't really used the big part. I usually only use the little arm. I just find it so much easier. But for this, because it's a big stamp, I have it set up on here. Now, I think I have it set up in the right way, so we'll see. But I'm going to take my strawberry slush piece, and I'm just going to, now I am actually butting it up against those little nubs, not knobs. I'm going to put a little magnet there. Now this magnet does not come with that. Neither do these. These are sweet petunia. But I wanted something that really held it down. So I'm going to use these to hold it down, because I don't want it to pick up the paper. Although, honestly, if it does, it's not a big deal, because like I said, I've got it butted up against those little nubs. And then there's a little indentation up here, and it's right up against that. So we'll see. All right, let's make sure that I have it in here correctly. And I think it looks good, right? Okay, perfect. All right, so let's get the Versamark ink, which I put it where? Okay, if I was Versamark, where would I be? Well, probably in my tray here. And guess what? I put everything in here so I wouldn't forget to use something. So, all right, so let's see. I'm going to use my embossing buddy. I should have done this before, but it's okay. Can always put the magnets back. So this just takes off any static and any oils that might have gotten on the card stock. Just prepping it for our embossing. Heat embossing, that is. Okay, so let's get the Versamark out. And we'll ink this up. Now I may have to, I know when I was doing my sample, I did have to ink this up several times. And I actually ended up inking up my Versamark again because the one that I was using in the other room was kind of dry. So hopefully this one's nice and juicy, but we'll see. If I need to, I can always go back, and I just tap that with my fingers, so I want to make sure I get that little part. I can always go get the other one out of my other room, and it'll be all good. All right, where's my little tool? I'm just going to press. And normally I would just press down, but because this is such a big stamp, I want to make sure I get all those nooks and crannies. It's such a gorgeous stamp, and I don't want to miss any of that. So we're going to just press down with our little, I think it's called like a Chucky tool. Hockey puck thing works too. You see that center part? That's exactly where it missed on my other card too. So I'm not sure if there's something wrong with the stamp, but that's all right. We'll just keep going till we get it where we want it. Put a little extra in the center there. See if that helps. Okay. Could be that this ink pad is also drying up, just possible. Okay, just check it again. Yeah, see, I still have that little bit. Okay, I'm going to go get my other Versamark, and I will be right back. All right, so I have my other Versamark. This one should be fine. And it's just that little bit in the center here, and also a little bit there, but that's about it. So let's see, here and here. Yeah, this is much juicier. Actually, we'll just do the whole thing. Sure it didn't move on me. Okay, we're good. I think this should do it. Well, I think that little spot there is supposed to be like that. But not on the flower, though. Okay. Yeah, still in that center part there. I don't know. Let me look at the stamp. Yeah, see, that's a solid image there on the stamp, so that should be solid. So, don't know. You have to exchange it for a different one. Might be defective. Does happen. But I love this stamp. I've been using it quite a bit lately. Makes a perfect card because it's so nice and bold. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, so that is good. Let me move this off of here. And I'm going to heat emboss it now. But isn't that beautiful? Even without embossing powder on it, it just is so gorgeous. Of course, without the embossing powder, it will lighten up So let's just move this stuff aside so we don't get the powder all over the place. Okay. And this will take quite a bit of powder. That's all right though, because we'll just put it right back in our little container. One of these days I'll actually put all my embossing powder, especially the clear one because I use that the most, into one of those little cheapy dollar store containers rather than having it in this little container, because it does make it a little bit difficult in there to put it back. Just checking it to make sure there's no lingering pieces anywhere. All right, so let me quickly put this back in here because I do have my fan on and I don't want it blowing all over the place. I don't want to turn the fan off because it'll get hot in here. My shooting studio does not have any AC in it because it was an unfinished room when we finished the rest of the house, and my husband finished it along with my brother and brother-in-law. And but you know, they didn't see the need to run any AC in here because it used to be my son's playroom, but now it's my studio, and it gets so warm in here. So I either have to shoot my videos in the morning or late evening. So I'm a little bit late. Should have been, where's my cat? Should have done it earlier, but you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, right? Okay, so let's pick this up with our reverse tweezers. Okay, and then I will heat my tools, so I'm gonna stop talking. So you can see already how it's starting to melt, but it did take quite a while to start there though, because it is such a bold stamp. So here we go again. Then I like to flip it over and just heat the back as well, just to let it set and to flatten out any curling that might have happened. Okay, so there you go. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, look at the shine on that. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so I'm going to let that cool for a little bit. You don't want to touch it right away because it could still be a little tacky. I do want to, I think doing embossing, let's emboss this and we'll stamp this piece, right? Okay, so let's get that happiest birthday. And the other reason I'm doing this is I want to make sure that I have this cut correctly. So why don't I just do that right now? Here's my scissors. Okay. So what was this, 4 1/4, I think, right? Except you know what? I'm going to be cutting that down, so let's not do that. Let's not do that. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, let's do this. We're going to Versamark this piece. We're going to say happiest birthday wishes. Okay. Right about here, I think. Should be good. Okay, then I'm going to take my strawberry slush and do the same thing. Now, you're probably saying, oh, you really should clean your stamps. Well, actually, no, because this will help my stamp to not get stained with the strawberry slush ink. So there you go. Try not to get my head in the way. Out here, and then we'll trim that down. Okay, I think I'm done with the Versamark and the ink for now. So let's put this here. Actually, let's just do the ink right now. Where's my stamp? Oh, you know what? Let's do this, okay? Because I don't want it to sit too long without embossing. Embossing. Oh, and you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to use my embossing buddy. But that's okay. It's just a little one. It's just a little one, so that's okay. All right, so we'll just add some embossing powder right over that. Oh, you know what? Let's put this back in here. We're done with the embossing, the heat embossing. We're done with that. So we'll put this here. All right, let's stamp the other piece and then we can cut it. Okay. So again, I did not clean my stamp. Matter of fact, I'm going to re-ink it again with the Versamark. Just put a little bit on there. So 2 reasons. 1, so it doesn't stain my stamp when I'm using the Strawberry Slush, since it's a red base ink, dye base. And then 2, it actually sticks better. So let's put this piece down. Get too much ahead of myself. I keep jumping around, I know. Keep jumping around. Then we'll ink this up. See if that's good. Still, see, it still missed that part, and I see where the ink stayed. So let's press a little harder. I'm not sure. I am not sure of why that's happening. But like I said, it could be the stamp is defective, which I'll have to return it. And I honestly think it is the stamp, because the same thing happened when I was using it with the Timid Tiger. So I know it's got to be the stamp, and it's just that one area. Hopefully it's good now. It's good enough. Good enough. Okay, now I will clean my stamp. Chamois. Just do that quickly. And it will stain a little bit anyway, just because re-inking without Versamark. But that's okay. Just do this on white though, so I can actually see where I've taken the ink off. Right? Okay. I think we're done with all the stamping. Okay, so now that I have the size down, I am going to trim it up a little bit. So I think I just need to trim off on the right side, because that looks about the same to me, which it should be. So let's see, what do we want to do? I think I said 3 7/8. Should be good. Yes. 3 7/8. And there you go. So now the next thing I want to do, again, keeping them together, I'm going to cut this in half. So because it's 3 7/8, half of that is 1 15/16. So if you're not sure what 15/16 is, I'm just going to run a piece of cardstock down the track because I see some fuzzies in there. And you want to do this, what I'm doing, periodically, because I don't know if you could see that. If I could put this sideways, you can see all the dust in there. There's like these little dust particles that sit in the track. And sometimes that, you know, from a lot of use, it doesn't hurt anything, but your paper might come out frayed. Your cardstock might be frayed. And it's because there's these little dust things in here. So just periodically, if you're using a Stampin' Up! Trimmer, or even with any other trimmer, just don't ever put anything sharp in this track because you will scratch it up, and then that will cause problems. So there you go. There's my Tuesday tip for you. Okay. So that's clean. And like I said, I just take a scrap piece of cardstock and run it down there. All right, let's bring this back down to there. I think that's where it was. All right, so we're going to cut this in half at 1 15/16. And what is 1 15/16? Well, if you're using the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, it's that little line right before you get to the 2. And we're just going to cut that in half. So, make sure that these are both lined up, and they are. Okay, okay, and then we can cut straight down. So now you have your 2 pieces. So let's put these together. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to take the strawberry slush from one, and we're going to put those together, and then the strawberry slush from here, and that's what creates that split panel. How cool is that? Oh my gosh. I know, it took forever to do, but it's really not very difficult. It's very easy to do, and I know you can do it. I know that you can do this. Okay, these are just scraps. Okay, so I am using basic white as my card base. Just scored simply at 4 1/4, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. I've got 2 of those, and then 2 pieces of Secret Sea, which are 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I'm going to start by adhering these to the card front. Am I? No, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to do this first because that's the other thing I did. Because then I want to trim down the sentiment. So I'm going to put the these pieces down first. So what I like to do is I like to first lay it down to see how much spacing I have around to play with. So let's see. And then what I'll do is I'll pick one piece up while holding the other piece in place so that I can, I've got the right measurements. I think that looks good. And you want it to meet up right in the center there. So I'm going to remove this white piece. And we're going to add some glue to it. And then I'm going to hold that piece down again. Put this here. I want to make sure that I'm lining it up, top and bottom at least. Whoops, I moved that. Oh, that's just a little more than I wanted it to slide. Okay, work with me. There we go. So that is good there. Might be just a, I want to see if I can move it up that way just a little bit. Okay, I think that will be good right there. Yes, okay. So now we could put down the other piece. I'll just press that down. So isn't that cool? So Jekyll and Hyde, right? Can't decide what color you want. Anyway, or a split panel. Or a split panel. All right, let's do the same thing to this one. Measure that up. Now you could also use repositionable tape to hold one of the pieces down. So let's see. And honestly, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, since I moved that, we're going to go with that one first. I usually like to do the bottom one because it's closer to me, but oh well. So I hope you've been enjoying these quicker cards. Yeah, my videos are long, but that's okay. The card is actually quite quick. You know, it's just because I'm chit-chatting and trying to explain what I'm doing. So you'll have to let me know what you think about that. If it's been getting you in your craft room and out of your craft room so that you can enjoy the beautiful summer weather with your family, with your pets. Of course, our pets are part of our family, right? But that's what summer's all about, right? Just relaxing. That's why they call them the dog days of summer. Because it's just, you know, it's just chill. You know, you're just chilling. So I don't want any blue showing, any of the secret sea showing in between. So how cool is that? I just think that looks so cool. I just can't get enough of looking at it. I don't know why, but I just can't. So I'm just going to close my glue up a little quickly so that we don't. All right, so this piece is going here. Oh, looks like I got some ink on that, so I'm going to have to flip this over. I don't know how that happened. And this piece is going to go here. So what did I say this is? 3 7/8? Yeah. All right, so let's just cut that. Well, let's stamp it first. Yeah, why don't we do that? Let's do it on this side here. Will that be enough? No, let's just flip it over. Let's not mess around with it, and we'll just flip it over. So I'm going to ink it in Versamark first, then get my strawberry slush, because I need to practice what I preach. Sometimes I say it, and then I forget to do it. So that's how we roll around here. All right. So let's put that right about here, I think. Okay. Well, okay, so I'll leave that here. I'll clean that after. And 3 7/8, both of these pieces. So let's see, 3 7/8 is here. Let's go 4 inches and then I'll cut. No, you know what, I think 3 7/8 should be fine, right? Yeah. There we go. It should be good. And then we'll do the same with the white piece. 3 7/8. And cut that right there. Truly done with the trimmer. Truly, truly. All right, let's put these down on our card bases. It's nice and thin. It makes for easy mailing, also saving you money on postage. Sometimes we get so crazy with our cards that we don't think about how much it's going to cost to send them in the mail, and then they don't get sent. So I like to send my recipients, well, family, cards, you know, and it doesn't have to be crazy. You know, I mean, honestly, I hope people save my cards, but I can't make them save it. I know some people that do save them, and they tell me that they save them, so I'm very appreciative of those people. I'm appreciative of everybody, but the ones that save my cards, yeah, they know what it takes to make this card, so they know the effort that I've put into it. So they appreciate it, and I appreciate them. All right, so we're just adding some dimensionals, as you can see. And it really doesn't matter which one you put the white one on and which one you put the strawberry slush on, but I think I'm going to do the white one on this one and the strawberry slush on the other one. Like that. And then we have this one. And then we'll get some of our pretty 2025, 2026 in color flat pearls, I believe they're called. Let's see if I got that right. Oh, look at that. Except it's 2025, 2027. What did I say? 26, I think? I don't remember. I don't remember what I just said 5 seconds ago. Isn't that terrible? All right, so I see I got something here, so I'm going to put a little gem there to hide that little, whatever that is, not sure. But we're going to hide it, because that's what gems are for, right? Hiding imperfections. Not always, but they're also to make our cards beautiful, even more beautiful. And we'll put a little one. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking down here maybe. Oh, and I did say I was going to put the butterflies, so let's see where we're going to put those butterflies. All right, let's bring those back. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, so we're going to put the big one up here. So, the medium-sized one over here. So, and then the tiny one right over here by this leaf. And then I'll look and see how it looks with the butterflies and if I need to add them or not. We might not. Let's see, I might just add one maybe, you know, like over here or over here. I think over there. Yeah, you know what, I think I will add it. Where's another little one? This is the little one. Oops, I got two. I'll put this one over there. Okay, that's something. A little something. All right, let's get a mini glue dot. I have some over here. I'll just add those to the back. You know what? Let's do a glue dot instead. I think the minis are even too big. So let's grab a glue dot. I'm just going to add one right to the center so that the leaves can still be fluttering. All right, so let's put these on to our card. Or should I put it here? No, I really like it over on this side. So I think this one's a little bit smaller than that one, but that's okay. Probably go to different people. There you go. You can get those wings up if you want, or leave them flat. So friends, that's it. Let me know, what do you think? Jekyll and Hyde or split panel? So, well, I guess I have to name it before you guys even see it, right? So anyway, I will come up with that name, and let me show you my other two cards. So I used Timid Tiger on these cards, and this is what I was talking about because I did not cut these at the same time. So you'll see there's a little bit of white that goes below the Timid Tiger, even though they do line up at the top. So anyway, that's my tip for you. If you're going to do this technique, definitely cut the two pieces together so that they are perfectly lined up for you. And friends, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about these cards. I hope you give it a try. And please remember to
like my video. It helps other people find me. And share it with your other crafty friends and leave that comment. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.